The Book of Disquiet by Fernando Pessoa. Section 144. After many days of rain, the sky brings back its hidden blue to the vast expanses on high. Between the streets, whose puddles sleep like country ponds, and the clear and chilly gladness overhead, there's a contrast that makes the dirty streets congenial and the dreary winter sky spring-like. It's Sunday, and I have nothing to do. It's such a nice day that I don't even feel like dreaming. I enjoy it all with all the sincerity of my senses to which my intelligence bows. I walk like a liberated shop assistant. I feel old, just so I can have the pleasure of feeling myself being rejuvenated. In the large Sunday square, there's a solemn flurry of a different sort of day. People are coming out of Mass at the church of São Domingos, and another one is about to begin. I see those who are leaving and those who still haven't entered, because they're waiting for people who aren't there watching who's coming out. None of these things are important. They are like everything in the ordinary world, a slumber of mysteries and battlements. And like a herald who has just arrived, I gaze at the open plain of my meditation. When I was a child, I used to go to this Mass, or perhaps another one, but I think it was this one. I wore my only good suit out of respect and enjoyed every minute, even when there was nothing special to enjoy. I lived externally, and the suit was clean and new. What more can one want when he's going to die and doesn't know it, led by a mother's hand? I used to enjoy all of this, but only now do I realize how much I enjoyed it. I would enter Mass as into a great mystery and come out at the end as into a clearing. And that's how it really was, and how it still really is. It's only the self who no longer believes and is now an adult, with a soul that remembers and weeps. Only this self is fiction and confusion, anguish and the grave. Yes, what I am would be unbearable if I couldn't remember what I've been. And this crowd of strangers who are still leaving Mass and the beginning of the potential crowd arriving for the next Mass are like boats passing by on a slow river beneath the open windows of my house on the bank. Memories, Sundays, Masses, the pleasure of having been, the miracle of time having remained because it already went by, and since it was mine, it will never be forgotten. Absurd diagonal of my normal sensations, sudden sound of an old carriage around the square, creaking its wheels in the depths of the car's noisy silences, and somehow or other, by a maternal paradox of time, subsisting today, right here, between what I am and what I've lost, in my backward gaze that is me. Section 145. The higher a man rises, the more things he must do without. There's no room on the pinnacle except for the man himself. The more perfect he is, the more complete, and the more complete, the less other. These thoughts occurred to me after reading a newspaper article about the great and multifaceted life of a celebrity, an American millionaire who had been everything. He had achieved all that he aspired to: money, love, friendship, recognition, travels, collections. Money can't buy everything, but the personal magnetism that enables a man to make lots of money can, indeed, obtain most things. As I laid the paper down on the restaurant table, I was already thinking how a similar article, narrowing the focus, could have been written about the firm's sales representative, more or less my acquaintance, who's eating lunch at the table in the back corner, as he does every day. All that the millionaire had, this man has, in smaller measures, to be sure, but abundantly for his stature. Both men have had equal success, and there isn't even a difference in their fame, for here too, we must see each man in his particular context. There's no one in the world who doesn't know the name of the American millionaire, but there's no one in Lisbon's commercial district who doesn't know the name of the man eating lunch in the corner. These men obtained all that their hand could grasp within arm's reach. What varied in them was the length of their arm. They were identical in other respects. I've never been able to envy this sort of person. I've always felt that virtue lay in obtaining what was out of one's reach, in living where one isn't, and being more alive after death than during life, in achieving something impossible, something absurd, and overcoming like an obstacle the world's very reality. Should someone point out that the pleasure of enduring is nil after one ceases to exist, I would first of all respond that I'm not sure if it is, because I don't know the truth about human survival. Secondly, the pleasure of future fame is a present pleasure. The fame is what's future, and it's the pleasure of feeling proud, equal to no pleasure that material wealth can bring. It may be illusory, but it is in any case far greater than the pleasure of enjoying only what's here. The American millionaire can't believe that posterity will appreciate his poems, given that he didn't write any. The sales representative can't imagine that the future will admire his pictures, since he never painted any. I, however, who in this transitory life am nothing, can enjoy the thought of the future reading this very page, since I do actually write it. I can take pride, like a father in his son, in the fame I will have, since at least I have something that could bring me fame. And as I think this, rising from the table, my invisible and inwardly majestic stature rises above Detroit, Michigan, and over all the commercial district of Lisbon. It was not, however, with these reflections that I began to reflect. What I initially thought about was how little a man must be in this life in order to live beyond it. One reflection is as good as another, for they are the same. Glory isn't a medal, but a coin. On one side, the head. On the other, a stated value. For the larger values, there are no coins, just paper, whose value is never much. With metaphysical psychologies such as these, humble people like me console themselves. Section 146. Some have a great dream in life that they never accomplish. Others have no dream, and likewise never accomplish it. Section 147. Every struggle, no matter what its goal, is forced by life to make adjustments. It becomes a different struggle, serves different ends, and sometimes accomplishes the very opposite of what it set out to do. Only slight goals are worth pursuing, because only a slight goal can be entirely fulfilled. If I struggle to make a fortune, I can make it in a certain way, The goal is slight, like all quantitative goals, personal or otherwise, and it's attainable, verifiable. But how shall I fulfill the intention of serving my country, or of enriching human culture, or of improving humanity? I can't be certain of the right course of action, nor verify whether the goals have been achieved.